We're going to resume the social media segments in a minute, but I saw a question come up that is a very good question, which is with so many people out there claiming to be a brand strategist, branding expert, marketing guru, how do you choose the right person? Um, I get a lot of questions with regard to that specifically, but more importantly, when I actually am at a point where someone's become a client, that's when I get to the point where I hear, that they've worked with XYZ amounts of people in the past who claimed all these amazing results that they could achieve for set retainer or project fee, et cetera, et cetera. And it didn't work out well. Well, this is how I operate. It's not for everybody. But my best advice would be the following, which is if you determine that you need some marketing help, don't just look at one person. Check at least three. I mean, it's a rule of thumb for business. Period. Get 3 quotes. Engage 3 people when you're about to hire a service provider or a vendor for a given task. That holds true here. I would go ahead and talk to 3 agencies if that's where you're going. If you're going to deal with a consultant, consult with, speak with 3. Have some questions pre-prepared. Know what your needs are. Ask them for a proven track record, track history of the results that they've been able to achieve for other people. When it comes to services, sometimes it's intangible marketing. The average marketeer does not have a tangible service. I'm a little bit different. I own an agency, so when we're done with our work, you could be walking with graphics, you could be walking with a website, you could be walking with, a 30-page strategic marketing plan that becomes, for lack of a better term, the Bible for your business's marketing strategies over the next year, 18 months. So the way my business is structured, people are walking with tangibles. The average consultant doesn't offer a tangible service. And consultants have their place, and they're very, very valuable. But what those consultants that don't have tangible product do have or should have is checks and balances for measuring whatever initiatives they put in place. There should be a way to track the progress, whether it's a press release. Well, that's different. That's more on the publicity and PR side. But if they're sending out messaging or they are working on your communications, you should have measured where you are at that point before you engage somebody new, and then give them a set time, predetermined. Okay, in a month, 2 months, 3 months, these are the results I'd like to see. And be realistic with those goals. Do some market research. Understand what can be achieved in a certain amount of time, and then hold that person accountable once they've started. If you're working off of a marketing plan or you're engaging someone for research, then have a timeline and have them provide it. It may take me, depending on the scope of the work, a week to build, an integrated proposal detailing what I'm going to be providing over the course of a retainer agreement or over the course of a project, if it's a project by project basis. But good, solid folks are not afraid to be held accountable for the service they're providing. So to get back on track, Rudell, how do you choose? A couple of things. Credential. Ask for references. Check references. Ask for some examples of their work. If there's a campaign they've been a part of, ask them to forward it to you or to direct you to a place online where you can take a look at it. And again, it's imperative that you have some set questions developed when you meet a consultant or when you're interviewing an agency to engage their services. Know what you want going in. Be open to receiving their advice. But one warning sign that I would caution anyone against is if you sit down in front of somebody and the entire conversation is what they can do for you. If they haven't listened yet to what you need, they don't know what they can do for you. So that's a warning sign that, and some people just don't know any better than to do it that way. But when I engage vendors for various different services, I do want to hear what they can do for me, but more importantly, I want them to listen to my need. And I want that conversation to be longer than their pitch. Sales pitch, you know, it's just not my favorite approach. And that's my humble opinion on the matter. But credential, talk to at least 3 people, check references, check measurable track history for progress. If it's not a tangible product that can be reviewed, when you're checking references, say, okay, where were you before you hired this person? Where were you at the end? A reference that simply says, oh yeah, they were great, love working with them, great commitment, excellent customer service. That's good to know, but marketing is a big expenditure. Um, and wasted marketing dollars is a crying shame. So do your homework beforehand to make sure that you're choosing the right person, and hold them accountable once you have engaged them. You know, if there's a deadline to be met, check in just before it's to be met. And more importantly, if it's a good relationship, they're checking in with you and giving you status reports on where things are going. So homework, 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 and do digging. And as in everything that I always preach over and over, research is key. So that's no different in choosing a marketing vendor. So I hope that was helpful. If you've got any more questions with regard to that, I'd be happy to help. And if you need some specific questions to ask marketeers that you're thinking about engaging, I can probably provide you with some good ones, that give you a stepping stone, to springboard that conversation and get some real feedback from them. And if you start asking hard-hitting questions and folks start stuttering, that's another warning sign. All right.